Hi. Tragically, my last video about Ryanair got corrupted and I didn't know it until I uploaded it, and it was just very unfortunate. So I'm going to make another video really quickly about Ryanair and my experience traveling with them earlier this, actually now it's February. I flew on them January 2nd and January 4th from London Stansted International Airport to Oslo Riga Airport, or technically not in Oslo, it's in Moss, but it was more convenient for me because I was visiting family there. So anyways, as you know, Ryanair is an ultra low-cost carrier in Europe. Most people dislike it. Most people I asked about it, they were like, ooh, that airline. No, good luck. So I was obviously very nervous to fly them for the first time. Mostly because their strict baggage allowance was, apparently they are very strict about it. I had watched a video about a Spanish woman being kicked off the plane by the police because she had an extra poster that wouldn't fit in her bag that was apparently against their rules. So I was nervous about that, obviously. Like, I was afraid that I was gonna go up to the gate and give them my boarding pass, and then they're gonna just like rip it up in front of me and like yell at me, say, you have to leave, or whatever, something. And there's no refunds, by the way, so be careful about that. So it begins when you check in, or when you buy your ticket on their website, which is kind of interesting. It reminds me kind of like Las Vegas style. It's just like advertisements everywhere, like woman in bikini was on there, and I was like, okay, whatever. The fares are cheap. I'm not complaining. So we bought our tickets there. We bought them a couple days before we actually left, so they were a little more expensive than what they normally were, but still they were pretty cheap. More cheap than any other airline, that's for sure. So because I was traveling on a United States passport, I was required to get my boarding pass stamped at the gate. Not at the gate, at the check-in counter at the airport. And apparently this is a way that Ryanair gets money out of people who aren't from Europe, or people who don't know how to fly their airline because they just don't speak the language, or they just don't know any better. They don't get their passport or their boarding pass checked and their passport checked. The boarding pass stamped and their passport checked. There we go. They didn't, sorry, thought someone was coming. So they didn't do that, and they go to try to board the plane, and they're denied boarding, and they have to go back, and then get it, redone, but by that time the plane has left, so they're out of luck. And they have to buy a new ticket, which is like £100 or something, so it's just bad news all around. So we made sure not to make that mistake. So we got our boarding passes stamped, and we eventually got on the plane, and we boarded the plane. You go outside up the stairs, which I thought was cool because we don't really do that much in the United States. I don't think they do that in Europe either very much, besides Ryanair. But it's cool because you get to see the vehicle you're about to travel on, and airplanes are huge, big machines. You don't really realize that until you're right next to it. So that was cool. So we got on the plane, and one thing I noticed is that they check your boarding passes a lot. Like, they just make sure that you are who you are, or like, or that it's actually valid or whatever. So you get on the plane, and the first thing is it's kind of a harsh interior. It's a yellow seat backs with advertisements on the overhead bins, which was kind of harsh, but it's cheap, so you don't really care. So we're on the flight, and we were under the impression that the flight was an hour and 10 minutes because we thought that we heard the pilot say, oh, folks, our flight today is an hour and 10 minutes. So we're like, okay, cool. But then after an hour of being in the air, we were like, we're not descending, so this flight must be a little longer. So it was actually 2 hours and 10 minutes. So we got to Norway safely and on time, and then we left a couple days later, and on the flight back to London, it was only an hour and 20 minutes long, and I don't know what happened, why it was the case. I'm usually I travel fairly frequently, so I I don't know, it was just weird. It's just strange that the flight was so much longer going there than going back. I don't know. This airline is quite shady. Maybe it's some, I don't even know. So we get to London about 30 or 40 minutes early ahead of schedule. And, that was great. We landed safely. They got us there on time, in one piece. I'm here now. So it's cool. One thing that was funny, though, was on the plane they sell scratch cards and smokeless cigarettes, which are technically just nicotine inhalers. I don't know how they work. I don't smoke, so don't ask me. But the flight attendant was like, you can win trip to Las Vegas if you buy Ryanair scratcher. Actually, that's not what she said. They had an announcement that said that. She was like, we sell smokeless cigarette for €10. So she came down the aisle and was selling them. But whatever. I don't think anybody bought them. Big deal. So overall, the flight was great. I would fly them again. Definitely be careful about their rules. Like, if you're going to fly Ryanair, go online and say, like, Ryanair scams, and so you know what to expect before you actually fly them. Because a lot of people don't know their rules, and they have to pay large amounts of money because they didn't play their game properly. And that's how Ryanair is so successful. So don't be one of those people that they make money off of. Be smart. Be a smart traveler. And I didn't mind flying Ryanair. I just kind of get up and go whenever I get the chance to travel anywhere, so it was fine for me. Airplanes are pretty modern, 737-800s. Pretty nice from Boeing. Yeah, so I would say go fly Ryanair. It's probably the only option for a lot of people to see most of Europe on a budget, because it is pretty cheap and pretty affordable, even for me, and I'm a college student. I don't have much money. I mean, not like I'd be going traveling a lot, but it's worth it. So if you can afford another more reputable airline, I would say go with them, just for the comfort. Maybe if you want your free soft drink or free peanuts or whatever. If you don't really care, go with Ryanair, but be careful, like I said. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good day, evening, morning, whatever, and I'll see you later. Subscribe if you like. Bye-bye.